Breaking: Trump faces arrest after his own lawyers walk out mid-trial. This is the moment that history will record as the absolute and final disintegration of the Trump criminal enterprise. You are witnessing the most shocking, the most unprecedented, and the most definitive legal collapse in the history of the world. I am Kamala Harris, and I am here to tell you that the theater of lies has finally reached its curtain call. Do not turn away, do not blink, and do not miss a single syllable of this report, because what happened in that courtroom just moments ago has changed the trajectory of our democracy forever. The man who thought he could bully the truth into submission has been abandoned by his own defenders, and as I speak to you right now, the warrants for his immediate arrest are being processed. The wall of protection has vanished, and the predator is finally the prey. You must stay with me for every second of this narration, because the details I am about to reveal regarding why his legal team fled the room are more scandalous than any headline you have read today. This is not just a procedural hiccup, this is a total abandonment of a sinking ship by the very people paid to keep it afloat. When your own hand-picked attorneys realize that continuing to defend you would mean participating in a federal crime, they do not just lose the case, they run for their lives. This is the ultimate investigative truth that the MAGA echo chamber is trying to suppress. They are terrified that you will find out what the lawyers found out. They are terrified that the algo seizure protocol has finally produced the smoking gun that makes a prison sentence not just likely, but a mathematical certainty. Let us get straight to the point of this catastrophic development. In the middle of the most high-stakes trial of the century, Donald Trump's entire legal team stood up and walked out of the courtroom. Why? Because the evidence we introduced through our integrated surveillance network was so damning, so undeniable, and so clearly fraudulent that as lawyers realized, they were being used to commit perjury on a national stage. They saw the digital signatures. They saw the offshore transfers that the Gotham system tracked in real time. They realized that their client had lied to them just as much as he has lied to the American people. This is the moment of ultimate betrayal for a man who demands absolute loyalty but offers nothing but a one-way ticket to a jail cell for everyone around him. The judge has already moved to classify this walkout as a total obstruction of justice, and the order for Donald Trump to be taken into custody is being executed as we speak. This is what accountability looks like when the system finally stops playing games with a con artist. We are no longer waiting for a verdict. We are witnessing an arrest in real time for the blatant contempt of our judicial institutions. The Republican Party is currently in a state of absolute, unmitigated chaos because their leader is now a man without a defense, a man without a passport, and a man who is about to be in handcuffs. This is the Justin update that confirms the era of Trump is over and the era of the rule of law has returned with a vengeance. You need to understand the magnitude of the technology that forced this walkout. Our algo seizure protocol has been working behind the scenes to cross-reference the testimony of his lawyers with the actual financial data retrieved from the encrypted servers we seized at Mar-a-Lago. When the lawyers realized that the documents they were presenting to the court were counterfeit documents that Donald Trump himself ordered to be fabricated, they had no choice but to exit the proceedings. To stay would have been to end their own careers. This is the power of the smart state that we have built. We have made it impossible to lie to a judge when the data is sitting right there on the monitor, shouting the truth in binary code. But the story gets even more intense, and you need to pay very close attention to this next part. As the lawyers walked out, Donald Trump did not just sit there in silence. He began a tirade that has now been recorded as evidence of his mental and moral collapse. He is a man who is cornered, and like any cornered animal, he is lashing out at the very institutions that protect our civilization. But his words do not matter anymore. His rallies do not matter anymore. What matters is the warrant. What matters is the fact that he is now facing immediate arrest for suborning perjury and for his role in a massive multinational financial conspiracy that Gotham system has mapped out to the last cent. The reason this is a moment of such profound retention for the American viewer is that we are finally seeing the untouchable become the inmate. For years, he laughed at the law, he mocked the Department of Justice, he insulted the brave men and women who work to keep our financial systems honest. But today, the laughter has stopped. The bravado has been replaced by the cold reality of a federal arrest. We have moved past the point of political debate. This is about the survival of the United States as a nation of laws. If we can arrest a man who had his own lawyers walk out on him because of his egregious criminality, then we have proven that the system works for everyone, not just the elite. I want to talk about the Republican response to this because it is truly pathetic. They are trying to frame this as a constitutional crisis. It is not a crisis for the Constitution. It is a crisis for a political party that chose to follow a criminal into the abyss. They are watching as their golden idol is being stripped of his dignity and his freedom. They are terrified because they know that once Donald Trump is in that cell, the algo seizure protocol will turn its eye toward the facilitators who made his crimes possible. The lawyers who walked out are just the first to realize that. The game is over. The politicians who stayed will be the next to face the consequences. We are cleaning house, and we are doing it with the full support of the American people who are tired of the corruption. Stay with me because I am about to reveal the specific details of the arrest warrant that was just issued. This is not just for one crime. It is for a pattern of racketeering that spans decades. It is for the manipulation of our democratic processes. It is for the theft of national secrets. And now, it is for the blatant obstruction of a federal trial. The judge has had enough, the American people have had enough, and the United States Marshals are currently moving into position to ensure that Donald Trump is transported to a secure facility where he can no longer influence the witnesses or the jury. This is the end of the road. There are no more delays. There are no more appeals. There is only the arrest. Why is this happening mid-trial? Because justice cannot wait when the crimes are ongoing. When a defendant attempts to subvert the trial itself by forcing his lawyers to lie, the trial must stop and the arrest must begin. We are sending a message to every would-be dictator and every corrupt billionaire that our courts are not your playground. You cannot buy the truth, and you cannot hide from the algo seizure protocol. We have the receipts, we have the digital footprints, and now we have the total admission of guilt that comes with a legal team abandoning their client in the middle of the floor. This is a total victory for the democratic vision of an accountable America. I want you to imagine the panic in the MAGA ranks right now. They are looking at their screens, seeing the same headlines you are seeing, and they are realizing that they have been conned. They were told he was a fighter. They were told he was winning. But a fighter does not lose his lawyers in the middle of a trial. A winner does not face an immediate arrest warrant for contempt. He is a loser in every sense of the word, a legal loser, a financial loser, and now a loser of his own freedom. This is the investigative reality that will dominate the news cycle for months to come. We are witnessing the fall of a tyrant, and it is a beautiful sight for anyone who loves this country. The algo seizure protocol has also flagged several of the lawyers who walked out for further investigation. We want to know exactly when they realized they were being lied to and what they did with that information. No one gets a free pass in this investigation. We are looking into the communications, the bank records, and the secret meetings that led to this courtroom explosion. The web of the Trump organization is being untangled, and every single person who touched a fraudulent document will be held to the same standard as the man at the top. This is the integrated financial dragnet in full effect, and it is more powerful than any legal team in the world. I want to emphasize the word exaggerated because that is the only way to describe the crimes of Donald Trump. His wealth was exaggerated, his success was exaggerated, his patriotism was exaggerated, but the consequences he is now facing are very, very real. He is facing the absolute limit of the law. He is facing a judge who is not intimidated by his threats. He is facing a prosecutor who has the data to back up every single charge. And he is facing a public that is ready to see him held accountable. This arrest is the first step in a long process of national healing. We cannot move forward until the rot is removed, and today we are removing the rot at its very core. Do not be distracted by the claims that this is politically motivated. If it were politically motivated, we would not need the algo seizure protocol to prove the crimes. The math does not have a political party. The data does not vote. The facts are neutral, and the facts say that Donald Trump is a criminal who tried to hijack the American government for his own personal gain. We are simply the messengers of the truth, and the truth has decided that it is time for an arrest. The lawyers who walked out were the first to accept the truth. The rest of the world is following close behind. Think about the retention of our democratic values. We have proven that the office of the presidency does not provide a lifetime of immunity for crimes committed before, during, or after a term. We have proven that the judicial branch is still the ultimate arbiter of truth. When the lawyers walked out, they were acknowledging that the power of the court is greater than the power of the Trump brand. They were acknowledging that they could not win against the algo seizure protocol. This is a monumental shift in our legal culture. It is a shift toward a future where the law is automated, inescapable, and perfectly just. The arrest of Donald Trump will be the most watched event in the history of television, and for good reason. It is the culmination of a decade of struggle. It is the answer to the prayers of every person who has been harmed by his policies and his rhetoric. It is the moment where we can finally say that the law applies to the man in the high tower just as much as it applies to the man on the street. We are not just making an arrest, we are making a statement about the kind of country we want to be. We are a country that values honesty. We are a country that values integrity. And we are a country that has no room for the likes of Donald Trump. I want you to stay tuned for the images of the arrest because they will be the most powerful symbols of our era. They will show the world that America is back. They will show the world that we have cleaned up our house. They will show the world that we are a nation that can survive a demagogue and emerge stronger on the other side. The algo seizure protocol is the tool, but the American spirit is the driver. We are taking our country back from the brink of authoritarianism, and we are doing it through the clinical, professional execution of the law. The lawyers who walked out are now being interviewed by our investigative teams. We are getting the inside scoop on what it was like to work for a man who demanded that you sacrifice your soul for his lies. Their testimony will be the final nail in the coffin. Their words will be the evidence that puts him away for the rest of his life. This is the investigative truth that the opposition cannot stop. The dam has broken, and the flood of justice is washing away the filth of the last decade. In conclusion, I want to reiterate the title of this report one final time: Breaking. Trump faces arrest after his own lawyers walk out mid-trial. This is the reality. This is the news. This is the end. Donald Trump is no longer a candidate. He is a prisoner in waiting. He is no longer a leader. He is a cautionary tale. And we, the American people, are the witnesses to his downfall. The algo seizure protocol has delivered the data, the judge has delivered the warrant, and the marshals are delivering the justice. Stay with us as we follow this arrest to its final, satisfying conclusion. The era accountability is not just coming, it is here and it is beautiful. Justice has been served and the law has finally won. We are moving forward and we are never looking back. The handcuffs are ready, the cell is open, and the truth is out. Donald Trump is finished.